Welcome to another episode of Advice Lounge. I'm Kelsey Sanders.
And I'm Kevin Andrews. Now, every week, we take some randomly chosen emails submitted by you guys, our members, and try to give you advice on anything and everything you could possibly think of.
Now, some of the topics may be considered a bit mature, but many teens today face these situations, and we just want to provide a place where they can feel safe about getting good advice from their peers. Our first question comes from Sammy720, and they write, "My friends are starting to smoke, and I'm thinking of trying it. What should I do?" Well, as we hope you know, smoking is really bad for your health, highly addictive, and an overall bad choice. So, knowing that, why would you want to start in the first place? If your friends are pressuring you or you feel like you need to go with the crowd to fit in, it's best to set a good example and not give in to the negative peer pressure. Ultimately, your friends will respect you more for sticking your ground. And if not, then it's probably time to find a new set of friends.
Alright, so Anonymous wrote in, and their question was, I recently found out that a friend of mine is cutting. And why do people do that, and how can they stop? Well, cutting is when people, unfortunately usually involves teenage girls, make superficial wounds on their body, usually on their stomachs or their arms, where the cuts are not readily noticeable. And these cuts are deep enough to draw blood and scarring, but they're usually not deep enough to cause, major damage. And people who cut, they often do so because they're hurting on the inside and they can't make sense of their feelings. They usually just try and block out all emotion because what they're feeling is just so painful. Cutting is a way for them to feel alive, in the sense that the physical pain that they're inflicting on themselves is a way for them to release the emotional pain that they have inside. Now, if you know that your friend is cutting, it's definitely time for her to get help. Please talk to her about your concerns, and definitely let a trusted adult know, a parent or a teacher or a school guidance counselor, so that they can get her the help that she needs to deal with all of her underlying feelings. Because until your friend is able to talk about and process all of her emotional pain, it's really going to be hard to get her to stop doing this dangerous behavior.
Cat Crazy writes, I'm 15 and thinking of getting a tattoo. I know you have to be 18 and my parents don't approve of tattoos. Should I get one and go behind their backs? Well, the reason you have to be 18 to get a tattoo is so that you're mature enough to make a decision that will likely affect you for the rest of your life. Tattoos, for the most part, are permanent, and you'll probably have a very different view of what you want on your body at the age of 15 than when you're 18. And going behind your parents' back is never a good idea. If you're really intent on getting a tattoo, then just talk to your parents about your feelings. Who knows? Maybe they'll compromise and let you get one when you're 18. By that point, you'll have had plenty of time to decide if it's something you really want or just a passing stage.
Alright, so our next question is from Jack Sparrow 10, and his question is, I'm 13 and I'm curious about dating. What are some of the basics? Well, dating at 13 usually occurs in more of a group setting rather than a one-on-one. Now, at this age, it's definitely important to have your parents' permission, especially if you're going to be relying on them to drive you to and from different activities. Now, if there's someone that you have a crush on, maybe invite them to a party with some of your friends, or ask her to come along to a movie or a concert. Basically, just find an activity that you both enjoy. The most important thing to know about dating is to definitely be respectful of your date and always, always, always have their best interests in mind.
Anonymous writes, I think my friend is anorexic. She hardly eats and looks skinnier all the time. What do I do? Find a quiet and private time to express your concerns to your friend. Try not to be too confrontational. It's best to share your feelings and worries in a neutral way. Let your friend know what you've observed about her eating habits and her weight loss, but most of all, let her know how worried you are about her. Encourage her to talk to her parents or another trusted adult about her issues. If she's unable to do so herself, or if she's in complete denial, talk to a grown-up yourself. Your friend may be upset with you in the short run, but you may just save her life in the long run.
Alright, so our next question is from Greatberry, and they wrote in and asked, I met a guy and I really like him. How do I keep him interested in me? Well, Greatberry, the best advice I could possibly give you is just be yourself. You shouldn't have to compromise your feelings and desires to keep somebody else happy. The best way to keep somebody interested in you is just to continue to live your life the way that feels good to you. Now, have you ever heard the saying that happiness is contagious? You shouldn't have to work too hard to keep somebody interested in you. And when somebody does see that you're happy and confident, they're definitely going to see that and want to be with you.
Be sure to check out our blogs, and if you have any questions or comments for us, post them in our message boards.
Now, if you want to submit your question for a chance to be featured on the next episode, go to the Advice Lounge homepage and click on the link in the Submit to Advice Lounge box on the top right side of the page. All right, now I want to see all your questions. So again, I'm Kevin Andrews.
And Kelsey Sanders for Advice Lounge. Remember, it takes years to build up trust and only seconds to destroy it.
Well, Kels, that was really well said.
Thank you.
I like it.
Thanks.
All right, guys, we'll see you next week only on TeenPhase.com.
Bye.